Would I recommend pouring epoxy over your stock tank pop tiles? No, and here's why. Hey Rachel, so we installed these floor pops in our stock tank pool last June. We did pour an epoxy over all of the tiles because our floor was not completely level. So there is a center seam that goes down the middle of this, and due to that, the tiles were not completely flat. Now, depending on what kind of stock tank you own, some of them are manufactured differently where they don't have that sealant down the middle. If you have one of those tanks, I don't think that you would necessarily need to seal the tiles with anything. I would, which is why we poured epoxy. Epoxy was just not the right sealant. I had a ton of comments talking about polyasperatic. I think that's how you say it. I would look into that, and if you can afford to seal the tiles, I personally think that it would extend the life of the tiles. These are not meant to be submerged, so it's a DIY project, and it's a live and learn type of thing. This has been filled with water now. We did it in June. We peeled up the epoxy a month later, and then we refilled it to enjoy it the rest of the summer into fall. So I want to say overall the tiles have probably been down for 5 or 6 months submerged underwater. And we did have winter in there, so obviously we emptied the tank, stored the tank for the winter, and then refilled it this last spring. I don't know if we're going to keep them in there, to be honest. After we pulled up the epoxy, it damaged quite a bit of the tiles. There's one tile in particular right here. Let me actually flip the camera around. You can see that tile is a little bit lifted. Now, that is right down where that center seam is. There are also a few over here where the corners have broken. And like I said, this was primarily because there was all that epoxy that was left over, and we had to crack it with tools to be able to get it off. So this last winter, I was really worried that when we opened the tank in the spring, there was going to be rust underneath the tiles. I'm very concerned about pulling them all up, to be honest. Gosh, it's pretty though, isn't it? Minus that weed.